Hydrothermal vent fish in boiling hell. Ever wonder what swims in water hot enough to melt your skin? Deep in the Pacific Ocean, near hydrothermal vents, the Pompeii worm and vent fish thrive in 300 degrees Celsius 570 degrees Fahrenheit water hotter than boiling. These vents, spewing scalding, mineral-rich fluids from Earth's crust, create a toxic cauldron. Yet, vent fish like the snailfish dart through sulfur clouds, their bodies adapted to crushing pressures 8,000 meters down. Their secret? Proteins that stay stable in extreme heat, like biological armor. In 2025, clips of these fish, captured by submersibles, go viral, showing them weaving through chimney like vents glowing red. Fun fact: the Pompeii worm's tail can withstand 80 degrees Celsius 176 degrees Fahrenheit while its head chills in cooler water. Would you dive into this underwater volcano to meet them? Tardigrades in Arctic ice. Could a creature survive being frozen solid for decades? Tardigrades, microscopic, water bears smaller than a grain of sand, live in Antarctic ice sheets, enduring 80 degrees Celsius, 112 degrees Fahrenheit, and no food for years. When frozen, they enter cryptobiosis, a near-death state, shrinking into a ton and halting all life processes. Thaw them out, and they wiggle back to life like nothing happened. In 2025, users share microscope videos of tardigrades reviving after 30 years on ice, sparking memes about immortal pets. Fun fact: tardigrades can survive outer space's vacuum, proving they're tougher than any polar bear. These tiny tanks laugh at glaciers. Would you keep a tardigrade as a pet if it outlived you? Sahara Desert silver ants. Ever seen an ant sprint through a frying pan? In the Sahara Desert, where sand hits 70 degrees Celsius 158 degrees Fahrenheit, silver ants dash across dunes at 3 feet per second to scavenge dead insects. Their shiny, heat-reflecting hairs keep them cool, like living mirrors, while their long legs lift them off scorching ground. They forage in the midday sun, when other creatures hide, surviving just 10 minutes before overheating. In 2025, posts show high-speed footage of their sprints, dubbed the fastest ants alive. Fun fact: they navigate by counting steps, like tiny GPS systems. These ants turn the desert into a racetrack. Would you brave the Sahara's heat to watch them run? Atacama Desert's microbe mats. Could life thrive in a place drier than Mars? The Atacama Desert in Chile, Earth's driest spot, gets less than 1 millimeter of rain a year. Yet, microbial mats' slimy colonies of bacteria cling to life in salt flats, feeding on trace moisture from fog. These microbes, some dating back millions of years, form colorful crusts that photosynthesize in brutal UV rays. In 2025, NASA shares posts of Atacama's microbes, studying them as analogs for Martian life. Fun fact: some mats survive inside translucent rocks, sipping water from the air. These tiny survivors make the desert a sci-fi lab. Would you hunt for life in a place NASA calls alien? Mariana Trench's amphipods. Ever imagine creatures thriving where light never reaches? At 11,000 meters in the Mariana Trench, the ocean's deepest point, amphipods shrimp-like critters scuttle under 1,000 times atmospheric pressure. These inch-long scavengers eat marine snow, dead plankton sinking from above in total darkness. Their bodies, built like tanks, resist crushing forces that would flatten a submarine. In 2025, users share eerie submersible footage of amphipods glowing faintly, possibly from bioluminescent bacteria. Fun fact: one amphipod was found with plastic in its gut, proving pollution reaches even the abyss. These deep-sea warriors defy the void. Would you explore the trench to meet them? Volcanic acid lakes extremophiles. Could anything live in a lake that's basically battery acid? In Costa Rica's Pose volcano, a turquoise lake boils at pH 0, acidic enough to dissolve metal. Yet, extremophile microbe single-celled daredevils thrive in this toxic soup, metabolizing sulfur and iron. These bacteria form slimy films, surviving temperatures up to 90 degrees Celsius 194 degrees Fahrenheit and acidity that would burn human skin in seconds. In 2025, posts of drone footage over the lake go viral, with scientists marveling at life's tenacity. Fun fact: similar microbes live in Yellowstone's hot springs, hinting at life's origins on early Earth. Would you dip a toe in this volcanic cauldron? Himalayan salt caves blind fish. Ever seen a fish swim in total darkness? In Pakistan's Kira salt mine, blind cavefish navigate briny pools deep underground, where no sunlight has ever pierced. These inch-long fish, eyeless from generations in darkness, use heightened senses to detect vibrations in the salty water. They feed on microscopic algae and bacteria, scraping cave walls with tiny teeth. In 2025, X-users share grainy videos of these ghostly swimmers, sparking debates about evolution and isolation. Fun fact, their ancestors had eyes, but evolution ditched them as useless in the dark. These fish turn caves into aquariums. Would you dive into a pitch-black salt pool to see them? Chernobyl's radioactive fungi. Could life eat radiation like candy? In Ukraine's Chernobyl exclusion zone, black fungi cling to reactor walls, absorbing gamma rays to fuel growth. These radiotrophic fungi, discovered in the 1990s, use melanin like in human skin to convert radiation into energy, much like plants photosynthesize light. They thrive in a zone lethal to most life, even 39 years after the 1986 disaster. In 2025, X posts show eerie photos of these fungi creeping over concrete, with some calling them zombie mold. Fun fact, NASA tests similar fungi for Mars missions, hoping they'll shield astronauts. Would you walk through Chernobyl's ruins knowing these fungi feast there? Dead Sea salt-loving microbes. Ever floated in a sea too salty for fish? The Dead Sea, with 34% salinity 10 times salter than the ocean host Halorchia, microbes that love extreme salt. These tiny organisms tint the water pink, thriving in conditions that would shrivel most life. They repair DNA damage from intense UV rays and sip nutrients from rare freshwater inflows. In 2025, X-users share drone shots of the Dead Sea's rosy glow, with scientists studying Halorchia for biotech breakthroughs. Fun fact, their enzymes are used in laundry detergents to work in harsh conditions. These microbes make a salty graveyard their playground. Would you swim in a sea where only microbes survive? Antarctic dry valleys ice worms. Could worms wriggle in a frozen desert? In Antarctica's McMurdo dry valleys, where rain hasn't fallen in 2 million years, ice worms burrow through glaciers. These half-inch creatures melt ice with body heat, feeding on algae trapped inside. They thrive at 0 degrees Celsius 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but die if warmed above 5 degrees Celsius 41 degrees Fahrenheit, the opposite of most life. In 2025, X posts show magnified ice worms slithering, with users joking they're snow snakes. Fun fact, they're so adapted to cold, their blood contains antifreeze proteins. These worms turn ice into a cozy home. Would you drill into a glacier to find them? Call to action. Which of these crazy habitats shocked you the most? Fish in boiling vents, fungi eating radiation, or worms in frozen glaciers? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you visit any of these extreme homes? Smash that subscribe button for more wild nature tales, and share this with your friends to blow their minds. Let's keep exploring the craziest places animals call home.